many without a place to live. According to Eviction Lab data, Black renters are nearly twice as likely to be evicted. Now, joining us to discuss landlord-tenant attorney Altagracia, Pierre-Outerbridge. Attorney, always a pleasure. Welcome back to BNC Live. Sad reality we got to talk about again. Data shows that Black renters are evicted at higher rate, right? Is this a result of the pandemic, or has this been an ongoing issue that has plagued our community for some time now?
It's always been an issue, and thank you for having me. It's always been an issue. Black and brown people are more likely to be evicted, at least twice as much. The pandemic has probably made it worse, but that's always been an issue in my practice, in my 15-year practice.
All right. Well, also, according to the Eviction Lab as well, right? After the eviction moratorium, you know, that the administration rolled out, once that ended in August, they quoted having a 20% increase in evictions in the 6 states and I believe 31 cities that they cover. Is that surprising to you?
Not at all. I mean, as we know, landlords were not allowed to evict. They had been waiting for that moment in time. And when it came, I mean, they pounced on it, right? And I think the number may even be higher because there were cases that were dormant that are now alive again, but that probably is in new eviction filings. There were cases, hundreds of thousands of cases that were dormant that became alive.
Now, you're in New York, right? I remember having this conversation with you before the eviction moratorium ended. Congress approved $46.5 billion, right, in rental assistance. The conversations that we were having were conversations that were taking place across the country. States were having an issue rolling out the money to those that actually needed the funds. In some situations, states were using that money for other city needs, right? So in New York, talk about the folks that needed the money. Did they have access to it? Or did it continue to be an issue?
It is still an issue. It is an issue. I think the state did a lot more and it ameliorated the system. There were technical issues because you could only have done it online, and a lot of people who couldn't pay the rent did not have access to Wi-Fi and the resources we take for granted, black and brown people specifically, right? So folks couldn't apply. They needed Wi-Fi. They needed an internet system, which they didn't have. The state did do much better in terms of getting outreach out there. Most of the money has been distributed. The issue now is that clearly the money was not enough, and the state has asked for more. I think the state obtained 7% of what it asked the Treasury Department for. 119 million was the last number. Folks are saying, you know, 1 billion is needed, another billion is needed. So the 7% is not going to do it. We know that the Treasury still has more money to give out. It's